I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about a human experience, but a steering of this, I suppose you could say, human potential. And as many people may have experienced, the Kundalini phenomena, it happens within the psyche, within one's own experience. Now, this, from what I have gathered from talking to people and interviews with people who've gone through the Kundalini experience, it seems that it comes from the inside out. It's a natural phenomena. It's something that emerges from deep within the psyche, and it rises to the surface of the consciousness. And these are quite profound experiences within the emerging of this like subconscious urge or force. There are really profound experiences which are really common, like as if frameworks exist within our subtle consciousness, common to everyone, common within our biology or our DNA. Everyone seems to have similar experiences. So within the Indian traditions, it seems as though there's an evolution of understanding what these frameworks are. So you go back to the Vedic times, and it all seems to surround trying to understand the nature of reality. What's the warp and weft of this, the structure of our universe, through insight, through direct experience. And a lot of that within the Indian traditions surrounded this idea of bliss or nectar experienced through the body. And that is certainly what lots of people seem to experience with the Kundalini experience, is this flood of nectar, this flood of bliss through the body. At the same time, having profound insight into the nature of reality. And so throughout these traditions, you see similar threads coming up. You see similar concepts arising, similar theories explaining similar phenomena. So the theories might be a different way of explaining something which is a shared experience. So in terms of Buddhism, for me, I found Buddhism contained the Kundalini experience, and then it went beyond it. So I know lots of yoga traditions, the Kundalini experience is a kind of the goal. Whereas in a lot of, in a few, obviously, there are so many different yoga practices, yoga philosophies, yoga traditions. But for me, the Buddhist ideology took the Kundalini phenomena and then transcended it in a means that was manageable, and a means that was creating a psychology completely free of suffering.
Can I just jump in?
Yeah.
My limited knowledge of Buddhist Tantra extends probably to the Kala Chakra system.
Mm-hmm.
When I had my Kundalini experience with no background in Buddhism, I felt fairly drawn to this Buddhist Tantric system called Kala Chakra. In fact, I felt very drawn to it. So as soon as I had the experience, I stumbled across it and connected to it completely. It wasn't until about 12 years later that I attended the Kala Chakra initiation ceremony. And it turns out that the mandala in Kala Chakra three-dimensionally represents the body. And they have a word called kandala, and it starts in the stomach and it rises through your body. Mm-hmm. And the mandala represents parts of your body. So as it moves through your body, it enters different parts of the three-dimensional structure of the temple. So what I discovered was that I was quite attracted to a system that already had a similar idea of Kundalini, but it was Buddhist in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
I have seen that Buddhism tends to it has a similar system. It's slightly different, or at least what I've seen is slightly different. But it does seem to have a different quality and almost a different, a different emphasis rather than the Hindu,
mm-hmm.
Which seems, the Hindu yogic system seems to be about guru and initiate attaining enlightenment or a kind of divinity, whereas there's something slightly different about the Buddhist tantric journey using Kundalini. I don't know whether you agree or not.
Yeah, there's so many different flavors with all of these traditions, and a lot of them I think from what I've seen is that a lot of these traditions will pick up on the tradition of the area to assimilate. So the way Buddhism or the way Tantra has spread throughout India over time, someone would go to a place and bring the knowledge, and it would take a process of assimilation into that area. So they would have to adopt certain traditions of the land in order to then bring forward Buddhist ideologies. So, for instance, in Tibet, you would have a lot of Bon tradition mixed in with a lot of Buddhist culture, Buddhist ideas. You've also got, like, in between Buddhism and the development of Vajrayana, you had Tantra, which was a separate thing, which was not Buddhist, although they shared some same ideas. Now, Tantra is so interesting in regards to Kundalini, because Tantra seems to really get into the strange phenomena that happen with Kundalini. Tantra seems to explore that more than Buddhism. So from my understanding of early Buddhism, they don't really talk about those bizarre experiences like kriyas that happen, or like you were describing these, we were chatting the other day, Samir, and you were describing this experience of becoming the deity and becoming the mandala. Tantra really goes into that. Tantra really goes into this, some of the phenomena, like people experience spontaneous mudras happening. And that is, in Tantra, they would describe that like forces of the universe. So Shakti would be kind of broken down into various forces, like Icha Shakti is ultimate desire, ultimate compulsion, the compulsion of the universe, and it speaks through the body. So when Kundalini happens, it's like you're entering into a sacred space. And this language of the universe comes through the fingers, comes through your body to express this language. So these mudras are like a language, and with them come an attitude, like a bhavana, an experience. And this experience is sort of personified like a deity, and it has an expression which, like what you were describing, represents the whole mandala, which represents aspects or forces within our universe. And this is what is experienced in the Kundalini experience to its full fruition. I think lots of people have partial experiences, like kriyas happen or jerky head movements. But I think when the blockages are cleared, this full dance happens with different bhavana coming out or expressed through the body. So this is Shakti expressing herself through the body in all of its various forms, which is really interesting, really strange, and really bizarre. And there is nowhere in our current Western psychological paradigm which allows for this. But what it does, it sort of expands one's mind beyond a selfhood, so that we can see more layers to our existence. So Tantra, to kind of summarize that, Tantra really does get into the nitty-gritty of all of those wonderful, bizarre phenomena that arise with Kundalini. So Vajrayana Buddhism took the meditation practices of early Buddhism that the Buddha taught and merged them with Tantric experiences, Tantric practices in India. The two were separate initially, and Vajrayana brought them together, weaved them together. The yogic praxis, the yoga, the kriya, the concepts of Shakti and deity, and merged them with Buddhist non-duality. So that's later on you get the color chakra. It's like an evolution, I suppose, of these ideas.